everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing Azorius Artifacts with a very light splash of red, where realistically we're never actually casting this card. So it's called Jeskai Artifacts because a good piece in the deck is red, being the Fire Crystal. This makes red spells cost one less. Obviously not using that, but creatures we control have haste, and it is an artifact itself, and that pairs incredibly well with Simulacrum Synthesizer and All-Star right now in best of one. When this artifact enters Scry 2, whenever another artifact you control mana value 3 or greater enters, we make a construct equal to the amount of artifact. I read that weird. We make a construct that's power and toughness is equal to the amount of artifacts we control, and that gets out of hand pretty quickly with the amount of artifacts we're playing. And then at the end, we use Repurposing Bay to sack a 3-mana artifact to search in our deck for a 4-mana artifact, being the Fire Crystal, putting a lot of artifacts onto the battlefield, and then they get haste and win the game immediately. It happens a couple of times throughout the video, so you'll see exactly how that works. And the best card kind of in the deck is United Battlefront. This is a collected company of sorts, but look at the top 7 cards of your library, put 2 non-creature cards from among the 6 onto the battlefield directly. So with Synthesizer and other 3-mana artifacts, it makes constructs immediately, or we get value pieces and set up for later turns. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the games. Going first here is pretty good. We're going to set the Enigma Jewel in over Authority, because obviously we don't know if Authority is good. We do know that the Enigma Jewel will always be good, especially with like a Repurposing Bay. The rest, sure. Here, I'll put it in there for you. See? I got you. See? Yeah, see? Easy. It's weird because, like, a slasher doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to ensure my land drops. Although, maybe I should have thought of it a bit differently. The reason I just brought that up, that I should have thought about it differently, is one, I now need to rip a land, which isn't great, right? I will be mana efficient and I will pop this. This does mean if I find something good. Oh, sweet. Can we blow them out here? Opponent, I would like to blow your back out respectfully, of course. I mean, it's got to be Repurposing Bay in this spot, right? And the reason why is because obviously making a lot of constructs would be great. But with Repurposing Bay, we basically get to make infinite constructs in a sense. And then we obviously have a way to go get our Fire Crystal. Obviously, we have the Enigma Jewel to activate Repurposing Bay instantly. So we can get another Synthesizer anyway. But this is sorcery, so we can't do it in response of everything. But we can go get another Synthesizer and then immediately go find that Fire Crystal that we need to win. The reason why I say sure is this is the pinnacle hand of missing the land. Oh, we found it. Very cool. Pinnacle going to be pretty huge in this matchup that typically plays 2 drops and less outside of Sephiroth. But sure. Gorehound has a lot of value off of creatures and stuff entering the battlefield, so I'd much rather just pop it right now. I think they were trying to play around at No More Lies, which obviously we don't play. We're the artifact deck. Let's go Synthesizer. Don't need either of those. We're looking for mana and United Battlefronts at this point. This can get enough counters, and I believe destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Yeah, so it can hit our Synthesizer. But we're probably going to snare it. They have to somehow play a sack outlet and a 1-drop that can be sacked twice, and then they have to sack this as well. So it doesn't seem like a great trade-off, if I was to say. I would love to play the Clay Fire Bricks here, but I think that's just a mistake. I think it's Repurposing Bay, weirdly enough. Even though obviously there's a little bit of damage on the board, but then I can go grab I can play the Clay Fire Bricks, get a Plains, play the Plains, sacrifice it, go get a snare, and then we're making good progress. And obviously a construct here is just good, right? So a bit weird. Obviously a 4/4, good. Shoot the Sheriff can answer this. If they play the black card, that's like -X, -X. They can obviously play a sack outlet like Sephiroth, play a land, and have it all happen. Menace coming through for 2. Sure. It's weird because we can always answer this later. We really need to focus on snaring it. So now they need a sack outlet. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Will they play one? If they don't play one, we're in a really good spot. Sure. We have to answer this. Not really a choice. Now they need a way to sack 2 things to get rid of this. Honestly, we're probably looking to Star Cage more than anything, I think. Is that worth it? Going Clayfire instead of going for like a thing, we just Star Cage? I think so, actually. So here to here. And then Spring Loaded Trap, as good as it is. Actually, cancel here. We don't want to attack because then they can block and have this exile, right? So we actually don't want to attack, which is weird. And then we just grab a Star Cage here. We want the Star Cage to resolve first, which it does. And we take everything. The problem is, yeah, so it got us counters or whatever because it works on exile as well. But if we attack, they block, then this goes to 4. And if its dies are put in exile with power 4 greater, destroy up to 1 permanent. So weirdly enough, it would actually be able to exile this or destroy this and get their stuff back, which is weird. Obviously, now we're in another awkward situation where it's like, do I just jam this? It's most likely to be lands. But I think it's the most explosive play we have. But honestly, this is also equally as explosive, I guess. Let's just slowly chip away and then just start swinging massive creatures, right? They got a free block for the turn. They don't take it. Could be a lot scarier, I guess. That's true. The problem is we have to evaluate what the odds of our next couple of cards being land. We are on 22. But with this many 3-drops in our hand, it's likely that even if we do cast a Battlefront in this spot, we might find artifacts, but it's probably not going to be a ton of 3-drops, considering we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out, and that's pretty heavy. So we just want to be careful of hitting, you know, just 2 drops and a bunch of lands or something like that. Opponent goes first. We have a way to guarantee our land drops, and we have a Star Cage to recover if it's aggro, so I think keeping's fine as long as they just don't duplex us, right? I'm gonna play the tap land. We'll keep, I guess, because again, we have ways to find the lands. It's not that we need to necessarily do it. Could be a counter spell, but countering this seems crazy. Countering a Clay Fire Bricks is nuts. If they can, that would be a soul read and they would get us for it, I guess. But it's just one of those cards when you know it's a synthesizer deck that there's substantially worse creatures to run into. Am I getting Kaito'd here? Hidebinder is also a good card. No. So holding up counter magic, I see. Play Authority so we can gain a little bit of life in these kind of grindy matchup spots. Hey, oops. Oh, okay. I mean, like, sure, that's an oops, but not really. Here comes Enduring, I assume? No, okay. That's like a good way for them to win this match, is by just putting a lot of stuff down on the board. They do nothing here. Sure. To jam or not to jam? I mean, I guess we just go for Pinnacle. That takes away a lot of their pressure, but they have to counter this. And then we can maybe go for Battlefront and blow the game out that way. Yeah, I kind of figured there was a phantom interference. I mean, I guess maybe we could have went for this and then done it the opposite way. If they're on the challenge winning list, phantom interference is like a 2 of in combination with like spell pierce and stuff. So it's a little bit weird. All right, so tap out here. There's an Enigma Jewel. This is probably one of the only times we're going to get this to resolve. So let's do it. Yep. Seems pretty good. Yep. We'll absorb these. Obviously, you know, Preacher's going to have a little bit of fun, maybe. Yeah, I'll keep that on top. But now, of course, I have a creature big enough to trade here. They've used 2 of their flood pits. So them having a third is unlikely in 12 cards. Having a land, though, is also unlikely. They could have a shoot the sheriff. I'm blocking all day. No way I'm not here. You not Kaito until after. Sure. They had to have a shoot the sheriff. Like, what else would be holding this? Long goodbye. Okay. Pardon me. Essentially the same thing. Land. They tapped out last turn. And I could pay for a phantom with this. Up. 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 Could be a tide binder here to shut off my synthesizer, which is a thing, of course. Now we go for relic, and we could do something really cool with the relic. Sure. And please don't auto pass my turn. Please do not auto pass. Oh, this is 2 colorless. Doesn't matter. Okay, never mind. That's fine. I was like, oh, I can stun this. This is 2 colorless, not a blue and a colorless. So, that's on me. I was going to pop this relic and put a stun counter on there during authority, randomly showing good value. Hopefully, we never see another one, because that would suck. Here's a repurposing bay. Here's another construct. Yeah, I say now there's just no way they're ever getting through. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to make more and more artifacts and stuff like that. So what can we do? We can make a construct here. Stack this, go grab a second synthesizer, make another construct, build out this board, play another relic if we want, and go through that the whole game. So very cool. On the draw obviously sucks. Being on to play. Oh. Rush you out there, big dog. This might buy us enough time to get to this. No burn happening from my opponent at any time. Another land to hit. So I am... Probably should have played that, but in the burn matchup, maybe I don't. It's a little bit weird. Alright, well, we go starting town into synthesizer into the final land and United Battlefront. Just hope it crawls us out of this game. Obviously, the Screaming Nemesis is something they could go for, too. They don't even activate here. Sure. No land would be best. Awesome. Everything working out pretty well. Mori's Vault's pretty good. So what we're going to do... Let me look. Top 2 non-creature, non-land permanent cards, mana value 3 less. Alright, so what we're going to do is the same thing we've done before. Authority, maybe not... Okay. Authority, not the card I'm really looking for, right? In terms of what I want my United Battlefront to do, right? But sometimes guaranteeing hits with United Battlefront, because again, if we put Famari's Vault on top, we'll draw that card. And then we know the next card's authority that counsels. So with that, we're guaranteed that United Battlefront will hit 1 permanent. Even if we don't grab it out of the pile, guaranteeing it is better than looking at 5 lands or something and 1 random thing. Or we look at 4 lands and authority plus another good card, right? So... it's kind of the thought process there, even though I don't think either of those cards are maybe the best. to be drawing at that point, but it is what it is. I'll try this hand. I don't necessarily agree that this hand's good, but we are on the draw, and that's having this card in our deck is a reason why we risk this sometimes. Man, back on the Innistrad lands. Very cool. Here's Clay Fire Bricks. We can guarantee his counter spell out next turn. Deal. Done deal. Fantastic. Just force him to counter everything. These two authorities are dead cards. And that's kind of why you don't No More Lies this, right? Like, I understand they might be like, oh, maybe I can get him on the land. Jamming. They didn't counter this, and that card's obviously has to be countered. But unfortunately, I would assume they have an Ultima or something like that, and they actually probably don't care that much. But we're deck thinning with this play, so we'll take it. Ultima will suck, but it's definitely a card that's in their arsenal play. Using the No More Lies that aggressively, just praying we miss the land, is something for sure. Again, Ultima could be a card they have here, I guess. We have to make plays, right? Like, we have to do game actions and just not play around Ultima. Especially considering, honestly, in my opinion, a lot of times they don't play Ultima. They play Day of Judgments and stuff. I do think I want to jam cards here. Left's on top, so obviously they can demo field me. Which is brutal, but fine at the same time. It's fine. Objectively. Double ETB, I could have made Snare resolve first, and they wouldn't have gained 1 life. So hopefully that doesn't come back and punish me, but... Sure. We're going to grab an island, because again, we do play Clay Fire Bricks. We do have other ones in our deck. Or by other ones, I guess we only have 1 more in our deck. But we have another planes in our hand. Do have Ultima. I kind of assumed, to be honest. Drawing a land, I honestly think we're just dead with this hand. They're going to have too much time and value, so I'll just move on. Alright, I think we can keep here. A lot of tap lands, which is a bit tough in this opener, but it should be kind of okay. Okay, maybe a Flood Maul? Is it? Oh, blue black. Okay. Sure. Go archive. Against. It's weird because I don't know if it's blue black mid range or blue black control, like the mill, or maybe Esper control mill. Sure. This tells me it's mill. This mid-range doesn't play stock up. They have too much good stuff going on. I think they thought we were just blue-white control, so we get to jam a synthesizer through. I think Snare is a bad card here. I'm going to bottom both of these, actually. What do you got here? What do you have here? Double stock up. Okay. Well, we're just going to have to try to force them to board wipe me literally every single turn, as long as it's not the mill half our deck one. Because obviously we can fall really far behind with that. They could have a Spell Pierce here too, which would be brutal, but it is what it is. They don't play it because they typically can't afford to. Discard the hand size, I guess. They into the Flood Maul me. Don't get to buy time, I guess. Basically the exact same cards I just looked at. Might as well attack. Could matter. What do we got, boss? Kind of a weird matchup, but it is what it is. What do we have? That card's legal?
A world that appreciates my so much trauma from
What?
issues.
Okay. I didn't think that card was even legal, to be honest with you, but sure. Tell me the last time you saw an Ashiok. You know what I mean? I just put you to the bottom a second ago. Mars Vault might actually be a good draw now. We'll go face here. I would have liked to have played the Authority, so when this makes two creatures, I could, like, interact with it well, but... Sure.
Such enticing thoughts.
Top player exiles top X cards where X total mana value of cards you own in exile. Sure. Sure. The rest. Uh-huh. This is ultable, I guess. I don't know what I'm against. I have no idea what's going on. Which is cool, to be honest, but I don't even feel like that was really a choice. Deadly cover up, maybe? Exile my star cages? It kind of makes sense. Generate my star cage? Sure. Not pumped about it, but it didn't take them. Why did he draw? I guess here. Here. Yeah. If I'm them, I'm a little molding a bit, but it's also their fault. They could have just taken them. Especially when Ashiok's like your win con. Why not take a thing that does technically trigger my synthesizer, you know? They have a lot in exile though now. They have 9, 10, 11, 12 in exile. So half my library plus 12. So we would mill 23, and then we would obviously end up at 23, and then we would go to 13. Or, 14. A lot of cards. Sure. Big advocate of, I think we have to hit Ashiok. Sure. This is the epitome of just not knowing what's going on from me. I just no clue. I don't think I can let Ashiok -7 have double removal, maybe? I mean, we might as well play it, right? Either let it go to my graveyard and get exiled with deadly cover up, or just not doing that. And it's tapped twice. Ashiok is in danger of dying here. Pause. They flood mauling it back to my hand or their hand. Can we kill them with their own wish claw? They do something really weird here. So wish claw activation. Yeah. We can kill them 100% if we get to go into this turn with this wish claw. Okay. Oh, how sick though would it have been if we just hit it regardless? If I play this, so 1-2, then I don't have mana to activate this, right? I should just do this anyway. Yeah, it's just lethal regardless, I guess. My math is not mathing today. Yeah, I was so focused on the wish claw line, I didn't even realize if I just make a copy of synthesizer, they die. Maybe they missed it as well. Who believes? Who believes in us? The one land and a prayer. Come on. Okay. You know what? It's because we said something. That can go. Oh boy. Happening. Alright. Pinnacle Star Cage. Gonna be a very good card. And we guarantee get there, obviously, because of clay fire bricks. There is no way that they got a one-lander and we got two one-landers. Arena. Knock it off. You're being bad, dude. Yeah, get to me, brother. I mean, with this, like, do I don't even do anything. Just play this. Like, what am I gonna do? Pinnacle 2 creatures? Here they go. Here we go. Sweet. A land would actually be really good because I'd like to use the Springler trap. The Pinnacle or to... Oh, that's online, huh? I kind of want them to commit more to the board before I use the Star Cage. You know what I mean? I'm going to go here. And obviously I could interact with this stuff, but I'm going to take this. I'm going to make these creatures just small and try to play this game over time, right? This card has done way more than what I thought. And now they're going to get a big hit here for 8. And obviously that seems like a big, massive hit to us. Which it is. Don't get me wrong. But then get to do this, right? And the shelters are gone. Now these enter back in and we take this. And at 9 life against the life gain deck, I feel pretty confident overall. Sure. What are they going to do? Have another shelter by Ghost? I hope so. I genuinely hope so. Sure. Now this game is obviously, I would assume, over. It's up to them if they would like to continue playing out this game, but we grab the snare, we can play the snare and recover everything that we need, and it doesn't really matter what happens from then on out. So yeah, a one-laner into a one-laner into a keep because I'm not mauling the 5 with how aggressive the format is, and our opponent had a one-laner as well. So what an interesting game. Enigma Jewel Authority. Hello. I'm going to play Authority. I mean, they're red players, right? Look at them. See? Play the Enigma Jewel. Could I started off this, but it's weird because I'm so used to red having an insane amount of one-drop creatures that maybe Authority can come and play on turn 2 now over like the alternative. A tap land here, which is a little tough, of course. We'll do that. Then I could go for Relic, but I can also go for like sniping this. And I think sniping is best. Three. Obviously. Ooh. Both good. Maybe letting them be able to target this challenger is not a good idea. Sure. Boom. I'll take 1 damage here. Pop. We need the other blue mana for our relic here. So I'm just gonna pop relic and draw a card and stun this slick shot for a turn. I just want to draw 2 cards more than anything here. Authority. Okay, so we go blue here. We tap this. We pop this. We stun this. A weird ability of the relic that's not often used. And again, this can only be used for abilities. So Clay Fire Bricks, as you can see, can't be played. So we'll play an Authority. And we're just waiting, I guess. It might Nemesius and then Burst Lightning it. Oh, sure. I'll take my 2 life though. Let's do here. Let's just keep gaining all the life. Why not, you know? Take the snare. Obviously, this is in kind of a risky territory. But at 23 with 3 mana, they missed a land last turn, so if they play a land, they just don't have as aggressive of lines as they used to. And now Pinnacle Starcade here is just incredibly good. The only real issue is I do lose this and this and this, but I mean 3 mana take away every creature they own and love is pretty good in my opinion. Sure. How many times has Slick Shot been put into play and for 3 turns just done nothing? That's Pinnacle. Seems pretty good to clean this all up. No activated abilities are going to happen here. I could do this. I don't have max speed though. Absorb literally every one of my artifacts other than authorities. And the snare, of course. They'll play Clayfire. And remember, any creature they play will come in tapped. Obviously, they can attack me with the Sanctuary. And most likely, our opponent's sticking around until I present them a actual win condition. But I've yet to do that. And hopefully, this card will find said win condition. Yep. And there comes the card. This can actually not exile that. It says a non-land. Okay. Wow, Pinnacle Starcade actually exiles that? That's crazy. It says creature. I can also craft this now, which is also cool. Don't make that a creature now. Have you ever had your Pinnacle Starcade exile 2 creatures that are lands? It counts. It's a weird thing to count, but it counts. Counts. They have a good chance though. I'm in top deck mode and we know Arena as well as anybody else, but I am gaining 3 life a creature they play until they somehow get a Screaming Nemesis to deal damage. Okay. Might as well play this. Yep. Deal. I am fairly confident in not dying to an Ember Heart Challenger here. I'm semi-confident, I guess. Maybe I'm too confident. I'm even more confident now. All right, Mr. Battlefront. I forgot I could do that. Interesting. That's an option. I honestly kind of wanted to do it. All right, but this should cause a concession. Actually, I think I just win here. Got this one here. I get to win in the cool way, finally. Fire Crystal! Boom. Here we go. Yep. It is a good game, opponent. Maybe. Maybe. Push Stalker it, please. Nice. That's pretty funny. I can't gain life anymore, but yeah, it was a weird one. I respect the opponent for staying around because I never presented a way to win. And it really was more of just playing a prison deck, weirdly, than it was actually the artifact deck until we finally did it, right? So, and honestly, even if we drew the Fire Crystal, it was fine. We had 2 starting towns. But yeah, I don't even remember what this is. Put exile card with artifact into owner graveyard, then create 2/2 robot token for each card put in there. Sacrifice this. Yeah, they're not copies. I thought they became copies, but I mean, 6 2/2s would have been pretty sweet, I guess. All right, so here we are with the Jeskai artifact deck, or Azorius artifacts. Obviously, the Fire Crystal kind of doesn't count because we can technically play it with the starting towns, but starting towns would be played in this deck whether Fire Crystal existed or not, because obviously blue and white. But we are essentially Azorius artifacts and playing the artifact version of Collected Company in United Battlefront. You know, there's a spell one as well that's really, really bad, but United Battlefront, look at the top 7. You know, we get to grab 2 of those things, put them into play. Super awesome with everything in our deck. I like the one of Enigma Jewel in here because this card's so weird because sometimes in your opener it's such a good card to play, but other times it's really bad, especially when you have multiple and you just end up flooding with it. I have an idea with a Jeskai deck playing the weapons manufacturing that I've been kind of brewing around. A couple of people recommended like the relics and stuff into it, and honestly I thought about playing the Enigma Jewel and stuff as well, because I thought the idea of flooding the board and then playing Quantum Riddlers would be super sweet, kind of like they do in Modern to some extent, where they play a lot of free stuff and go that route. And getting to play my whole hand out would be super sweet, right? Because then, you know, I just play Riddler, I draw 2, and then I'm finding a lot of action and things to do on my turns. And with relics, that's extra card draw I can use with that. But overall, this deck, it's got a high win rate for a reason. It runs really well. I will say some of the losses you'll experience with this deck feel like the worst losses you've had in a very long time, because it's just like you're 1 card draw away, it feels like, especially with United Battlefront in your deck, or the turns or games, I guess, with Synthesizer, where playing Synthesizer on 3 kind of sucks most of the time, unless you're on the play, obviously. If you get to go like Authority into Clay Bricks in the Synthesizer and nothing happens, that's that bad, because Authority's kind of held your opponents in check. But trying to get this on the battlefield blows sometimes, where it's just like, it's so much better to honestly have them in your deck and just have a Battlefront instead. Most hands with this card in your opener is almost a snap keep because of how explosive this card is, because of all the value you get, right? Like, say we hit 1 and 1. We make a construct, which at minimum is 2 or a 3/3. Most likely it's going to be at least a 4/4, right? But we get to make a 4/4. We scry 2, and then we set up the rest of the game with the fact that we can pull out artifacts and make ours grow larger and larger until we're ready to one-shot them. And that's all because we start off with a 4-mana card, look through the top 6, and put everything into play. And that is just so good, obviously. But with that, this deck's been around for a bit. So other than the gameplay, I think we kind of covered a lot of our plays pretty well. Obviously, I'll watch back and be like, wow, we're really bad at this game sometimes. But, you know, that happens. Hindsight's 20/20 always, you know. With that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video regardless, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.